Chouseishin Gransazer, also known as Ultra Star Gods and the Gransazers, is a Tokusatsu TV series produced by Toho Company to rival the success of Toei's Super Sentai series. Welcome back to Wonder WhyZ, and today let's talk about Gransazers. So the series aired on TV Tokyo from 4th October 2003 to 25th September 2004. There were total 51 half-hour episodes that aired during that time. The Gransazers lore is 400 million years old, when an ancient yet highly civilized human civilization was destroyed by an alien monarch by the name Ofu Manafu. Okay, I messed it again. Anyway, in the present day, however, 12 Caesars are awakened, who are the direct descendants of that ancient human civilization. The 12 Caesars are based on constellations and are further divided into 4 different tribes. They are called Flame Tribe, Wind Tribe, Earth Tribe, and Water Tribe. Each tribe has its own Ultra Star God and secondary grand vehicles. Moreover, each Gransazer has a glowing symbol on their left hand that changes into a knuckle riser. A knuckle riser is basically Toho's version of a morpher, because the knuckle riser has various modes to help the Caesars, such as transform, dive in, communication, etc. Any casual person will say that Gransazers is basically a copy of Super Sentai or Power Rangers in general, but no, this is wrong analogy. The only Super Sentai series it is similar to a way it would be Hurricaneju because of the different clans. Now Gransazers corrected many flaws that Super Sentai had, but I am not going to compare it completely with Sentai. However, some Sentai references are simply unavoidable. In no way do I mean to say that Gransazers is a perfect show, and I will discuss its negative aspects towards the end of this episode. However, what's good must be appreciated. So the first thing are the monsters. Considering this show was made in 2003, the monsters look really intimidating and fleshed out. Just have a look at this Achilleon and Boscuto. They look so good and complete. Well, if you look deeply, this is not a huge surprise, considering that this is Toho, that is known for Godzilla movies. The other thing that I really loved about Gransazers were the suits and the transformation sequence. Well, to be honest, I was never a huge fan of complicated suit designs, which is why Deca Rangers is on top of my list of suits in Super Sentai. However, Gransazers did something really good with the suits. The suits of each tribe are different yet related by common link. Flame Tribe suits are streamlined and fiery that follows their Ultra Star God Garuda. Wind Tribe was quite bulky and armory, similar to a beetle that was basically inspired by their star god Dolcruz. Similarly, Earth Tribe was based on Earth like Guncaesar, while Water Tribe had marine appearance just like Leviathan. The transformation sequence was elaborate and different in each tribe, giving them a sense of military status. Their roll call of equip was really interesting. Moreover, their knuckle razors were fixed on their hands, so there was no nonsense of morpher getting lost just like PR and Sentai. Tribe members had to summon their respective Ultra Star Gods, and then one of them could dive in. Another thing that they did really amazing was to give the other 2 Caesars importance as well. They could also help in a fight by controlling smaller grand vehicles. A small rant. I always hated the transformation sequence of Guncaesar. It looked like a real toy. It was cheap and it was pathetic to watch. End of the rant. Anyway, the 4 star gods could also combine with Guntras to form the king of beasts, Daicaesar, a fierce reptilian beast that breathed fire. I really like the fact that characters like Professor Horeguchi and government official Misunogi-san were really well developed. Also, the government made their own mecha as well, which was called UE Type Assist 5. This mecha was quite strong and also helped the Gransazers a lot. They always gave me the silver guardians like vibes. Now coming to the parts that I did not like in the show, the villains. Well, this is more of a bittersweet relation for me. As a kid, when I used to watch this show, I never really understood who the real villain was. Because in the beginning, we are introduced to the Aquilon race, who is trying to destroy the Caesars by turning the Wind tribe against the other tribes. Next came the Impactors, followed by Boscuto. However, there was never a cohesive plot for the villains. I know that it was their very plan to show that the Caesars were unable to understand who was their friend and who was their enemy. However, they outdid things a lot, like once calling the Caesars descendants of the enemy Boscuto. Moreover, the reveal of the main villain Bilzeus was very rushed and happened in the very end. But in spite of all of this, I cannot undermine the brilliant and badass Logia. Logia is one of my favorite characters in the Gransazer story, right from his magnificent suit and dialogia to his character development. He had a rough outlook in the beginning, where he was hesitant to confess his liking for Luca. From there, he changed to a kind of an anti-hero, for whom even Tenma had respect. This kind of a mutual respect between the protagonist and the villain is mostly unseen in Sentai and PR, except maybe Jungle Fury. I really loved this show a lot, despite its flaws, and it is such a shame that Gransazers never became so popular. Just have a look at this comparison from Instagram. While Super Sentai and Power Rangers has thousands and thousands of posts, Gransazers has barely about 200 posts only. Moreover, on YouTube itself, there is very little about Gransazers. There are no reviews or top 10 videos about it. I don't think it was broadcasted in many different countries as well. Now, I found out something peculiar online while trying to research about this show. I saw this show on Cartoon Network while I was a kid, but on Cartoon Network India's Wikipedia page, there is no reference whatsoever that this show ever existed or this show ever aired in India. This really broke my heart. Moreover, the only piece of article I could find out online about Gransazers airing in India was from this TV article that's dated way back to the year 2006. Just that's it. Nothing more about it. As a kid, I really loved this show a lot. I used to impersonate Caesar Torius' main weapon, Burning Falcon, on my cousin, who happened to be a fan of Caesar Realms. Man, those were some really glorious childhood memories. Anyway, before I get lost into my childhood nostalgia, let me just give my final thoughts about Gransazers. To sum up, this was a really good Tokusatsu series. And no, this is not just because of nostalgia. I actually watched the series again recently on Dailymotion in order to make this review. Although I'm not so sure if it was legal to watch it on Dailymotion, but sadly, that's the only place where this show is currently available online. I really wish there were more reruns of this show on Cartoon Network or any other channel whatsoever. Nevertheless, the show had a decent plot, good monsters, great suits, good acting and good music. I personally feel that the slow start of the show and the lack of a proper main villain introduction are the main reasons why this show is forgotten quickly among the masses. Also, its sequel Chouseishin didn't help it either, mainly because in a way it destroyed the amazing lore that Gransazers had established. Chouseishin basically felt like a Kamen Rider show by Toho. And don't even get me started on Caesar X. It was the final nail in the coffin. So that was my review of Chouseishin Gransazer. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. It would really help me since it took me a long time and a lot of effort to make this video. That's it for today. This is Wonder WhyZ.